So here we go. So hello, all you beautiful, wonderful, amazing, spectacular tea people. Today it is, well, we are doing, what is it? Ruby 18 White. So here, I've got two Ruby 18 Whites. I'm trying out this one for, I think, the third time. It's the end of my sample, and I'm looking forward to this one. This is a Wooey. This is sort of the chocolatey one. But that's what we're going to do for this live stream. Now, I'm also doing it on YouTube and on I'm also doing it on YouTube and on Facebook at the same time as Instagram with the live. And it'll work out like it always works out. And what I'll probably do is well, anyways, whatever. Why don't we just get started with this? Now, what we're looking at today is Ruby 18. We got Ruby 18. We're going to talk about Ruby 18 a little bit. I'm going to show you a video about Ruby 18, what it looks like. There's also on the YouTube channel, there's sort of the Ruby 18 origins thing. And here you can see this is going to be the last day of the beard. I think the beard is going to be gone. I've had the last couple of days has been extraordinarily fun and busy. There have been some friends that came to visit, and they had little kids, and the little kids took to me. In Chinese, we say, I have the smell of a father, but it was their dad is very similar to me. And so I didn't want to, I was thinking about shaving the beard for a little bit, but then I took them out on a trip for one day. 2 days later, I took them out again. And if I did that, they would have scared the crap out of the kids. They would have had nightmares. So I decided I was going to keep it for another couple of days, but I'll probably shave it off in the next couple of days. I think that's what's going to happen. But anyways, it's been a busy couple of days, and the tea tours are out and started again. So if anybody's coming to Taiwan, come on down to Hualien. We'll go on a tea tour. It'll be fun. So we'll come on down to Hualien, come on a tea tour, and it'll be fun. But that's something that is, I don't know, I'll talk about that a little bit later as these things go on as well. Now, what I'm looking at today, I'm going to show a video. I'm going to do some stuff talking about Ruby 18, but what we're talking about is a Ruby 18 white tea. And this is from my buddy Mingjin, and he has got this really traditional style of making teas. So he's got this traditional style of making teas. And what I've got here is I've got the Earth Ruby White. Now here you can see this is the Earth Ruby White, and it's got like big, huge, big leaves, right? So you got these big, huge, big leaves. And this is a white tea that's basically picked and then placed and dried. And when you're looking at those types of white teas, oftentimes it's really strong. It's a really, really strong flavor. So oftentimes when you're looking at those types of teas, those white teas, it's a really strong flavor. And over here, he's got his white tea, and his white tea actually, as you can sort of see right here, it actually looks like a black tea. There's no real whiteness to it. Like there's no usually when you're looking at the white teas, they've got like when you're looking at the white teas, they're sort of like, well, they sort of look like this, right? They sort of look like this. But you can see the difference between these teas, right? They're different. And there's a really sort of different, it looked like a black tea. And then you look closer at it, there's some colors in there, there's some other things going on in the white tea as you're looking right into it. And you think, oh, okay, maybe this is, like a white tea. You give it a smell, it smells exactly like a white tea. Anyways, I'm putting them side by side to see whether or not I'm going to buy this. I think I am. I'm almost certainly going to buy this white tea. But I'm putting it side by side with what little I have left. I've got a little bit left. There's not very much left. This is the last little bag of it. This is probably there's probably about 75 grams worth of this tea. It's so light. But that's white tea. That's what's happening with the white teas. But anyways, why don't we get started on that? Now, what I'm also going to do in this is we're going to talk about the teas. We're going to talk about what it means to be a Ruby 18 white tea, right? What that actually means, but what Ruby 18 is all about. Just briefly. Now, to go into it, again, if you want to go to the YouTube channel, there's a whole YouTube video about it. Back in the day, highly produced. It was highly produced, but it's I've done better and worse videos than that one. And anyways, the point is that tea had, what's the best way to describe it? That tea, or that video, anyways, when you talk about Ruby 18, you're talking about this unique tea. And why is it unique? It's unique because the mother of the tea was the Asamaka tea from India, and the father of the tea, so the pollen went into that one, and that one was the Camellia fulmicensis wild tea of Taiwan. What I did in that, and where I get not this one, but I get the Ruby 18 Origin set. Those 3 teas all come from the same garden, each outside of Sun Moon Lake. And those 3 teas, they all come from the same garden, and they are the garden sort of in the area where Ruby 18 was actually created. And I won't go into all the details. We'll talk about it a little bit. If you have any questions about it, throw it in the chats of the various things that are live right now, or in the comments after. Oh, I'm going to do this one too. But what you're looking at is, a 1 out of 100, maybe even 1 out of 1,000, maybe 1 out of 10,000 shot where the genetics got together and created something really special, created this Ruby 18. That is something really quite special. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to jump into the thing over here, and I'm going to show it just briefly. So I'm going to jump in, and this is actually a video that shows you, if you're on Instagram, you can jump into the YouTube, but it's not long. It's not the longest video. We're going to jump into it here. I'm just going to play this quick just so you can see.
Of the Ruby 18 cultivar, and there is, you can see the sort of the similarities between the 2 leaves, and then you have this waviness, right? This classic waviness, that's the root.
And that is one of the classic things about Ruby 18. You're actually looking at them in the wild, in the gardens and things like that. There is a waviness to the leaves. So they're big, thick, sort of a Samaka oolongy looking leaves. They're kind of narrow, right? But when they got mixed with the Samaka is usually a little bit bigger, and the Camellia fulmicensis is very narrow. And what happened was they got mixed together, and then for some reason the Ruby 18 gets this waviness, and oftentimes
green color. Ruby 18,
well, you can see here.
Look, is you got this classic waviness in the leaves, and that's what makes it. Now these 3 teas, they taste very, very different, but I'll tell you,
they do. So the 3 teas, the mother, the father, and the baby, which is the Ruby 18, right? They all taste very, very different. They really do. They taste very, very, very different. And it's fascinating in that respect. Now, what is the Ruby 18 taste? The Ruby 18 taste is, right? So the Ruby 18 taste, here there's another picture. You can sort of see what it looks like on the down there. But what you're looking at when you're looking at these teas, what you're looking at the taste of these teas, you're looking at a tea that is, you can't do much with it. You make a tea, make a black tea, make a green tea, it all kind of tastes like it's very, very Ruby 18-esque. And I've talked about that before in live streams, but it's very much the case with this Ruby 18 tea. And what happens with the Ruby 18 whites, oftentimes the case is that they are super, super, super strong. They are, if you brew them with the Gongfu style really lightly, they're extremely astringent. Not so much bitter as astringent. They're strong. The Asamaka-ness of the tea just jumps out at you. That strength just jumps out at you really, really, really strongly. And I like the Ruby 18 whites because oftentimes the Ruby 18 whites will have the mint flavor, sort of the mentholy mint flavor in the background that a lot of the other ways of making Ruby 18 are not quite as pronounced. And I really enjoy that because there's no other tea that I've ever come across that actually has that strong mint flavor, like that really minty, mentholy-esque flavor. Now you might get that sort of in the background of some really high quality young Sheng pu'er type teas, things like that. But in general, you're just not getting that in other teas. You'll get sort of that menthol flavor of really high quality teas, but it'll be the menthol in the sense of, when you blow out, you get that flavor, but it won't be mint. All right, it won't be mint. Now, when I'm looking at these teas right here, it's quite fascinating because I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna decide. I think, well, we'll see, we'll see what happens here. But I'm probably gonna be buying this tea, this white tea here. Even looking at the leaves, this tea over here, it's still greenish. They're rehydrating the teas, right? The teas are rehydrating, and so because they're rehydrating, they're kind of green. The green tea, like there's a greenness to it. Whereas this one over here, it looks like a black tea. It looks like a black tea. Now, I don't know how exactly this was processed, but my guess is it was picked, it was rolled, and it was dried. And so because it didn't go through the kill green phase, it didn't go through the high heated kill green phase that all the other teas go through, that's why I called it a white. But I think it's oxidized. It's a cheater white. It's a cheater, right? So you're not supposed to oxidize white teas. But it looks like he rolled it and then he dried it. And so, but I'll have to ask him about it. Now, in general, when it comes to white teas like that, you can't actually just pick a tea and have it not oxidize. It's impossible. You can't do that. But the more you lay out the tea leaves and not manipulate them, the more it's supposed to be traditionally or effectively a white tea. But that oftentimes when you do that, it tastes like digested food, right? It tastes awful, right? It really can taste awful. And so there is always this sort of this, am I going to be able to sell this tea? Am I not going to be able to sell this tea type of thing going on with that. Now, here we go. Let's go in. This is the Earth Ruby White. It does not sell very well because it's quite expensive. And that's okay with me because it's the biggest pain in the ass to pack of any tea out there, right? It's just such a pain in the ass to pack. Like 100 grams of it is like this much, and so it's a pain to ship. And one of the reasons why it's expensive is because it's a pain to ship, right? Because you're shipping space as well as weight, and this takes up so much space. Anyways, here we go. Let's go into this one. And it does. It's almost got like a poor flavor to it. This is the springtime tea, and it's doing pretty well. It's aging okay. You've got the traditional sort of Ruby 18 flavors going through it. In the back end, there's a bit of mint, but as it ages, what you're getting is definitely more of earthiness to it. It's called Earth Ruby, right? Because it's grown in Elan, which is not a high elevation. It rains a lot. And in the springtime, they can produce this tea, and it's quite nice. But it's not really an area that's known for that type of... It's not really not known for that type of tea, right? It's not known for its white teas. But this tea is it's on the site. There's a little bit left, and it's got a lot of the Ruby 18ness to it. I'm actually quite fascinated by the flavor right now. I haven't had it for a couple months, and as it ages, it's mellowed out. On the back end, there's a bit of the astringency, but when this was fresh, this was a bitey tea. It was pretty bitey, but it's actually calmed right out right now. Anyways, let's go into this one. Now, the third tea I've got in front of me here, this third tea is the Wui. And so these two come from the same garden, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be buying this as well. I'm just drinking it again, the last of the sample, just to be 100% sure, making sure. So here we go. Okay. So here we go. Are we going to buy this tea? Yes or no? Is this tea going to be bought? Yes or no? Let's test it out and see. Now, in general, wintertime whites are more floral. The wintertime teas, I've done that 100 times. If you're interested in it, go back and listen to some live streams. But wintertime teas are, generally speaking, more vegetal and more floral. Stronger. Wow. This one blows this one out of the water. Whereas this has got some mint. It's got some strength. It's, it's doing okay. It's fine. Nothing wrong with it. This one is winter green. Now, when I was growing up, there was a certain gum, and it was called chlorophyll, right? It was very strange. I'm pretty sure it's only in Canada. I'm pretty sure it's only in Canada, and I'm sure it's only in Canada, and it's a fascinating thing. It's a fascinating idea, but it's this chlorophyll gum. All right, chlorophyll. But basically, it was just wintergreen. It was the taste of wintergreen, and this is all over that. It's wintergreen, and it's fascinating. There is no malt. There is no black tea-ness. Oh, it may be way in the back end there, just a touch. But it just might be the nature of the Ruby 18, right? It just might be the nature of the Ruby 18. But I would say in general, no real, certainly not overt black tea taste. But it is wintergreen, and it's unique. And it's beautiful, and it's getting bought. I'm buying this tea. As soon as I get off this live stream, I am going to go and I'm going to say, hook me up, my friend. I want some of your tea because it's really good. It's really good. And it's not quite as expensive as this either. And it's easier to pack. But, because there's always a catch, there will be some tea purists who say, this isn't white tea. This is an oolong. And then I'll say, it didn't go through the Kilgreen phase. And they'll be like, it's been oxidized. Yes, well, white tea doesn't necessarily have to be non-oxidized. Every time you pick a tea and manipulate it, it becomes oxidized. I don't know. Again, if you want to ever become a tea seller, you're going to have to realize that you will have to argue with tea nerds in your head. As these things go, could be worse. It definitely could be worse. There's worse things to argue with in your head. And my oldest son the other day, I forget what the context was, but he was doing something he shouldn't do, and he knew he shouldn't do it. And he literally said, because I've joked about him, I said, when you're older and you do bad things, remember, I'm in your head. I'm telling you not to do it. I'm in your head. And he was doing something bad, and he's like, yeah, you were in my head telling me not to do that, but it wasn't loud enough. I'm like, work on it. Anyways, it's a strange tangent. Yeah, I'm buying it. It's worthwhile. It's worthwhile. It's worthwhile. I'll take it. I will take it. It's okay. It's getting bought. It's officially getting bought. And now we'll just briefly touch this bad boy. This is the Wui. Now this one, I've sampled this fellow's Wui for years and years. And some of them I buy, some of them I don't. He's got a lot of the tea. He's got a lot of the tea. And in the sense of the tea plants. And so sometimes he does the greenish stuff. Sometimes he roasts it, and he does a lot of different things with it. And he's been working really, really, really hard on this red oolong-esque, pushing it to its limits of what it can create. And this is a really, really, really good example of what he's done. This is a red oolong. It's been roasted. The longer, I did it on purpose. I opened up the bag and I let it sit for like a week, just in the open air, to see what it would taste like after the roast airs off a bit. And it's a fascinating tea. The upfront is dark chocolate, like 90+% dark chocolate. There's a nice wide open mouthfeel in the back. And then there's a caramelly fruit flavor in the back end, in the aftertaste, which is marzipan-y, I guess. but it's chocolatey. It's chocolatey. It's like marzipan drenched in chocolate with a cherry in the center. There we go. I'll write that down, and hopefully people will buy it, both literally and figuratively. Yeah. But it's great, and he's done a great job with it. It's beautiful. This is a beautiful tea, and I'm buying this one too. There we go. It's being bought. Buying this one, buying the other one, and I'm putting it in. Now, it should be downstairs, actually, either today or tomorrow. I'm going to have Jade Mountain Red, Jade Mountain Oolong, and Jade Mountain Black. And I'll have a taster set for one place with different oxidations levels done by a tea master. Tea master, just amazing. All the same cultivar, just done different seasons, but done oxidation styles, and putting them side by side. Next live I do, it'll be that. It'll be those three teas put together. And that's really quite a lot of fun. That'll be on the site, hopefully in the next week or two. I will be, actually, I was going to be taking some time off because I was going to go on a camping trip for sort of the Christmas holiday, but that just got canceled today. Now, I still might do it. We still might do a camping trip or do something. Beardless, of course, because the beard is now, I think it's on its last legs. I'm gonna shave it off very soon. But I'm trying to think whether I'm going to be doing more live streams. I'll probably do another live stream on Friday. I got another tea trip going tomorrow. So some people are coming down from Taipei. I'm going to take them out on a tea trip. I'm flustered. My worlds are mixing, right? The tour guide Matt and the tea guy Matt. My worlds are mixing, so it's a little bit strange, but that's going to happen as well. It's interesting. It's fun. But I am absolutely happy to be able to do both. Actually, I'm going to drink this again, just double check. Now the leaves of this have opened up, and what's really amazing about this Ruby 18, this is not the I don't know what I'm going to call it. I'm probably going to call it like spearmint, like ruby spearmint, something like that. Anyways, because the taste is so dramatically beautiful. But the leaves have opened up, and there's lots of color in the leaves, although they are mostly brown. Anyway, so that's what's happened. A little bit of astringency coming in after 30 minutes sitting in warm water. But it's an interesting tea. I'm going to get it. It's basically taken the mint aspect, the wintergreen, the mint aspect of Ruby 18, and just concentrated it into a tea. And that's what this is. That's the dominant flavor of this tea. It's quite amazing, actually. And that's what it is. It's just that flavor. And it's quite fun if you like that flavor in a tea. This is the one that is the strongest. Anyways, that's about it. I'm going to go and do some stuff. Does anybody have any questions about what I've covered in the stream so far? So to recap, I went through the Earth Ruby white tea right here. There's a touch of it left. And then this is the new Ruby 18 white that I just got in from Mingjian that I'm going to buy some. And again, like I said, it's just sort of concentrated the mint aspect to it very, very strongly. Then over here, I've got the Wui, which I'm absolutely 100% beginning. This Taiwanese Wui is like super Taiwanese, chocolatey, and it's great. So that'll be absolutely on the site as well. And yeah, I don't know. I might be taking some time off. I might not. I don't know what's going to happen the next couple of days. Friday afternoon, I'll probably do another live stream, depending on how many orders I get in the next couple of days. And as always, thank you so much, everybody who's supported my family and I in Mountain Stream Teas. Even after the sale, people are still buying tea. It's just amazing. And so eternally grateful, because, the money goes literally to me and the family, right? And the farmers. And also the Taiwanese Postal Service. I give them a lot of money as well. But there is no middleman other than me. But I'm an accountable middleman, right? I mean, I'm accountable, absolutely accountable. But anyways, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Wherever in the world you happen to be, whatever you're doing, whatever time of the day, night, evening, morning, all that type of stuff. I certainly hope you have an amazing day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next live stream.